Okay.
So their fight, right, their ultimate fight, the one that so-called decided the battle between them, right, involves them trying to put their semen into the body of the other person.
What?
Yeah, but it's not by penetration, you know. They'll do things like I'll wrap it in your vegetable, and then put it in your food, and then you will eat it, and then you will become inside. What's up?
Welcome to our coffee shop. I'm your host, Media Leon, and welcome to another episode of the KopiBros show presented by the Chit Podcast Network. Now, for those of you that are tuning in via YouTube or any sort of podcasting platform, hi again. Thank you so much for giving us a try, for giving us a listen. We're just a Singaporean duo that are going to learn about Egyptian Mythology. That's the only Egyptian move I know. And once again, I'm joined by the pharaoh of the KopiBros, Mr. Jin Yong. Jin Yong, how are you doing?
Okay. This week has been slightly better than last.
Do you have a lot of things to do at the end of the year? Or is it like throughout the year the same equal amount of work?
Okay, because like you know, right, I run a lot of pop-ups.
Yes.
So end of the year is the time we really whack the pop-ups. Like I got at least 3 or 4 coming up. And it's not like 3 days kind, it's like 7 days kind. Well, I don't know. I don't know how to survive that.
What are the dates and the locations of the pop-ups that you're going to be going to?
27 November to 3rd December, I'll be at SingPost Center.
Okay.
4th December to 11, I think. Yeah, I'll be at Waterway Point.
Oh, what? 7 days?
Yeah. Then 17, 18, 19 December, I think I'll be at Fuse again, the Marina Bay Sands there.
Do you want to shout out your company and the things that you are producing?
Yeah. Seabreeze Books. Just look for Seabreeze as in like, you know, when you go to the sea, you let the wind blow. Seabreeze Books.
Yeah.
So
they have a lot of they sell a lot of very cute like merchandise stuff, very 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 artistic sort of like homemade, a lot of very very cute designs. So please go and support if you're there, if you're like listening and going to get, just give it a chance. You might find something that you might love. Yeah, and enjoy the sea breeze. Yeah. But once again, Jin Yong, we're going to be doing an episode specifically about Egyptian mythology. And the reason why is because this is a continuation of our series on the mythology episodes. We've done already Norse, we've done Greek, we've done Japanese mythology, Japanese mythology, and now we're going to be doing specifically Egyptian mythology. Now, I would say that this is a mythology that is not very heavily followed, would you say?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, so I was pleasantly surprised when I heard that Marvel decided to make a series on Moon Knight. So I always found that Moon Knight, because it's based on Egyptian mythology, and the character that is based on, Khonshu, is one of the so-called lesser gods. It's not the prime 9 or 11 within the main narrative of gods. So I was quite surprised to see Marvel decided to do Moon Knight, and actually I was pleasantly surprised with the series.
Yeah, it's like it's got a nice reputation of being that like a bit of a horror show, right? Correct. Yeah, because I'm guessing that the character itself is based on, there's horror elements to his character.
But later one of the stories I will mention him lah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, just before we dive to that, I think it's good that we always like elaborate some on the themes of like what are specific about each mythology. Greek mythology is very, very egocentric. It's very like like humans versus God. There's a big differentiator about pride and stuff like that lah. But how does this compare to you, and like what does the Egyptian mythology, what are like some of the main themes that we are going to be like looking at today? Egyptian
mythology, right, for me, right, is like the central themes of Greek mythology times 10. So
wow, really?
Greek mythology, if you think Greek mythology is like about like like very like brothers killing each other, right? Egyptian mythology is brothers killing each other times 10 in terms of like the bizarreness, in terms of like, I don't know, like things that you like even now by today's people's standard, like I cannot understand one.
So it's very like revengeful and very like very gory in a way.
The way they fight is like, I don't get it, It's like very funny one.
Primal, is it?
Later I'll talk about like the fight between Horus and Seth.
Okay.
So their fight, right, their ultimate fight, the one that so-called decided the battle between them, right, involves them trying to put their semen into the body of the other person. Yeah, but it's not by penetration, you know. They'll do things like I'll wrap it in your vegetable, and then put it in your food, and then you will eat it, and then you will become inside. Really, you know, I'm like, the first time I read it, I'm like, oh, I don't understand who came up with this, who wrote this story. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm quite stunned. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get it.
Lost for words. I thought I could come up with like some snappy transition, but I'm quite lost. Hopefully this episode will fill you up. That's the best I can do. Yeah.
So maybe I can segue into the next part, which is that I think that the thing that really separates this mythology from others is, number one, of course, the bizarreness is really on another level.
Okay.
And I think the other thing is because this mythology, like every time I research on it, right, there is a different version. There's a slightly different version. There's a slightly different thing.
Oh.
So I think that it's very difficult. I mean, there is a main central story, but I think it's very difficult to so-called pinpoint some of the details of the story.
Okay. So I'm guessing that some of the stories that you're going through, there are like multiple versions, but you're probably picking the one that is the most like well-known version of the story.
The one that I can relate with and I can see a flow. But of course, if people can find an alternate version, then by all means can go ahead. Because if I'm not wrong, Egyptian mythologies, they don't have words. They're not like Greek mythology where, you know, they have like epic, they have poems and stuff.
Yeah.
Egyptian mythology, a lot of time is really what they call hieroglyphics, means like pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
And even then, right, we don't have like people that pass down from that generation that know how to read all these pictures.
Yeah. Correct.
So the only reason why we can
understand. Yeah.
Yes, correct. So the only reason why we can understand all these hieroglyphics now is because a few centuries ago, these archaeologists discovered this thing called a Rosetta Stone. So it's currently in the UK museum. So it contains 3 languages. If I'm not wrong, Latin, Greek, and the Egyptian hieroglyphic. Because at that time, this was used to so-called write a law. And then at that time, I think, if I'm not wrong, the Roman Empire I think it's the Roman Empire, it was very strong and covered a lot of land. So they had to write in these 3 different languages so that people understood. So that was how we understood hieroglyphics, because we translated from Latin and Greek.
Oh, okay. So there was a base of that Rosetta Stone to go and like jump off, to go and understand.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow, so that means that before they discovered this Rosetta Stone, it's really like guessing, or like really like just open to interpretation. Exactly. Yeah.
Which is why sometimes you can find a lot of different versions, because maybe this picture to you, he's like spraying water gun. Then other people say that actually this one is no one, this one is his mouth spit saliva. Can also what? Because
correct.
Yeah,
and it becomes very open to interpretation, and then But I guess that Rosetta Stone really like sort of cements it, because it determines the writing is like, okay, the official story that they translate, which is scribed. Oh, very interesting. And I'm assuming also this is like it's not a mythology that is followed now. It's a lost mythology, in a way.
It's actually quite lost in the sense that I don't think a lot of people how do you say I don't think a lot of people you don't see traces of it in modern culture nowadays. I think a lot of people do it as a form of like just research, archaeology, and just visit temples not temples, visit the pyramids just to see all the writings there.
The hieroglyphics. Interesting. All right, we're gonna dive into this episode. Jin Yong is here, is gonna once again, as the usual, he's gonna tell us 3 unique special stories about Egyptian mythology. All right, let's get right into the episode. All right, we're gonna dive right into this Egyptian mythology episode. Jin, you have 3 stories for us. Can you name them off, and what are we gonna start off with?
Okay, I'm going to start off, of course, with the creation myth again. But this creation myth is really talking about how the original so-called few main gods came about, which is like the Osiris, Isis, Seth, and this. Yeah. Okay, so these are the 4 so-called main gods that were centered around the story. And then the second story will be about how Ra sent his right eye or left eye, I forget, called Sekhmet, to destroy humans. And then how he had to send his other eye to so-called stop the killing. And then that was why, when people die, there was hell, and there was this concept of hell.
Heaven and earth.
Don't have one. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the second story. The third story is on the one I told you just now. It's about the battle between Horus and Seth and the semen and all that bullshit.
You gotta have a happy ending. It's the last one.
Yes, it has a happy ending, don't worry. But the trials and tribulation is just very lame. Not lame, okay. It's just very bizarre. Yeah.
All right. Oh, Jinyo, take it away.
Okay, so I shall start with the creation myth. Okay, so as a lot of people know, the main Egyptian god is what they call the sun god Ra. Okay, because in Egyptian myth, Ra is like the number one god, the first god, and like he represents the sun and everything lah. Okay, so Ra came out of like a bit like all the other mythologies where there was nothing, there was chaos. Then, from the primordial waters arose this thing called Ra. Like I just now say, they couldn't come to terms with. He used his moisture. How he created his own children, Shu and Tefnut. Because some people say that he used moisture, because they say moisture can be saliva, so saliva can be spit out. But some people say no, he used his semen.
Technically, there's also moisture.
Yeah. So the most bizarre version I've heard, right, is say that he had intercourse with his hand and ejaculated into his mouth using it as a womb. So when he spat out the substance, right, he created Shu and Tefnut.
When you say hen, you do not mean a chicken, right?
I think he masturbated, if you ask me. Oops.
Okay. Is there a sexual theme throughout these 3 episodes? 3 stories?
No. This is one of 2 only. This is one of 2. Yeah.
Okay, can true.
Okay, so
you joked off, okay.
Yeah. So Shu and Tefnut, they represented air and moisture. They male and female. They had the next generation of children called Geb and Nut, Geb and Nut.
Okay.
Okay, one represent the earth, one represent the sky. Okay, but for whatever reason, Geb and Nut were so in love with each other that they are forever like hugging each other one. The Egyptians believe, right, like there's no space between heaven and earth one. It's just like all stuck in this one universe, right? What really split them up, some people say is Ra jealous. Some people say that it's just that they decided to create a whole, open up the world and create a new world lah. So, Shu, which is their father, actually forced them apart. That's when earth and the sky separated, and then in between is air and moisture.
Okay. Parents separated the 2 grandchildren.
Correct.
Yeah, Ra's grandchildren lah.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, now comes the interesting part. The interesting part is, I don't know why, Ra is actually interested in Nut as a consort, like not prostitute, as a like female counterpart. She's attached to Geb and then getting ready to have kids and whatnot. So Ra actually cursed Nut and say you will not have children like for the whole year, so forever lah. So there are 360 days in the Egyptian calendar. There are 360 days, so. She won't be able to have any children at any time. Now came this god of wisdom called Thoth, Thoth. Okay, so he decided to help this Nut and say, okay lah, you very poor thing, let me help you so that we can find some roundabout method for you to have kids. So what he did was that he went to gamble with the god of the night, Khonshu, which is what you saw in the Moon Knight. This Khonshu is so bad at this gambling game that he lost 5 days. Okay, and that is why Nut has this additional 5 days because it was won over by Thoth and given to her. Then she could have kids lah, which is the Osiris, Seth, Isis, and Nephthys. These 4, and then the 5th is actually the son of Isis and Osiris, Horus. So within the next 5 days, she actually had these 5 children.
So Khonshu, he dictates the days. That's why he can offer 5 more extra.
He dictates the night.
Oh, okay. So he gave 5 nights to the. Okay. Understand.
So you can take this as like the difference between what we call the solar calendar and the calendar that follows the moon. Yeah. So some researchers actually say that this is the Egyptian mythology's way of so-called reconciling between their number of days in a year lah. Because like sometimes because they did some research on like the Egyptian calendar, the Greek calendar, and the Mayan calendar. So they come to different conclusions on how many days there are in a year. So there are some say 365 days, some say 360 days, some say 362. Yeah, so they each have their own individual mythologies to sort of explain and reconcile and come up with the final number lah.
Interesting. So you're saying it links to the second story lah that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. So Actually, it links to a third story more. The second story is more on Ra. In that case, right, let me bring forward the third story because I think the second story links better to 132 is better than 123.
Okay.
So let's talk about the second, the third story. Let me talk about the third story second. Okay.
Okay. Now the second story lah, which is fine.
Yeah. And it's not me saying not having 5 children within the next 5 days, right? But actually, the more widely accepted version is that she had 4 children now, which is Isis, Seth, Osiris, and Nephthys. So actually, Horus is the son of Osiris and Isis. Osiris and Isis were a couple. Seth and Nephthys were a couple. So Ra decided to appoint Osiris like the ruler of the whole Egyptian kingdom lah.
Okay.
Including heaven and hell and all these things. Not heaven as in earth and hell and all these things lah. Seth grew very jealous because he felt that, okay, different versions say different things. One version say that it's because he couldn't get the respect of the people. He couldn't be like Osiris so well liked. And he couldn't be like, or he couldn't like gain the respect of people lah. Okay. Another version says that apparently he suspect that his wife is having an affair with Osiris.
Okay, so Nephthys is having an affair with Osiris.
Yeah.
Okay, can understand.
So regardless of which version, he decided that one day that he was going to kill this Osiris and so-called wrestle power from him. He actually came up with a very, very interesting ploy. Okay, he wait for his brother and his sister-in-law, actually sister and sister-in-law to fall asleep. Okay. So he tiptoed into their room, then he decided to measure his body and make a coffin of a certain shape lah. A few days later at a carnival or whatnot, or at a like dinner or whatnot, he just suddenly told to his brother, he said, hey, I got this very fun game, why not we try and see whether we can fit into the coffin or not. Like, I don't know how is that fun, but apparently Osiris like, oh, okay, that sounds fun, let me like try. Then like he went in, right? He's like, hey, this one like very fitting, like why just nice. So Seth just closed the coffin and then like got his people to like, take this coffin out, right? And then like throw into the Nile River. Yeah, he really threw in the Nile River, right? Then it was all eaten by fishes.
Okay.
So when the wife Isis, right, tried to go back and retrieve the body, right, apparently the body already a lot of a lot of parts already eaten up by fishes already. That included his phallus, which is his penis. So his wife brought back the body, couldn't do anything with it. So Seth was very angry to hear that, why this person on kill now cannot taken back by the wife. So he went and snatched back the body. He cut it out into 14 different pieces and then threw it into the Nile River. The first killing incident that cut people's body out one.
Yeah. The original slasher.
Correct.
Yeah, this guy, the inspiration for you. The Netflix show.
Yeah, the first, how to say, the first murder was committed. I remember the Bible wrote about the first murder. The Greek mythology talked about the first murder also. But I think this was the first body dismembering murder that I read in like mythology.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Dismemberment. Okay.
So, of course, after Seth, so-called chopped his brother's body out and feed to the fishes, right? Then he was like, he was very happy lah. Like, I finally got power, I got legitimacy and whatnot. So, the wife was very worried. Okay, because number one, now she feel that the earth and the whole like Egypt civilization like plunging into chaos. And then second, she's also worried about her own safety. Like she think that she's not safe anymore lah.
I see. Yeah, okay.
So, her solution was that I have to go find back my husband's body. And then I need to piece them back together. I need to revive him. And then I need to have a son with him. She really went and find back all the 14 body parts, right? Piece them back together. And then I don't know what kind of magic she used. She apparently made him alive again. But the problem was that the penis was not there. The penis was eaten by fishes really.
Okay. Ironic that the other 14 body parts were not, but okay, interesting.
Okay. So I tried to research how did Isis form Osiris' penis, but I couldn't find a very firm answer.
A logical answer. Yeah, okay,
yes.
Understand.
So some people say that she found a replacement, some people say that she just don't know how created one fake penis and put on him lah. So this part I really don't know how to explain, except that the end result is that they had Horus. Osiris, because he's dead once and then he's brought back, right? So he now doesn't belong to Earth. He's actually fashioned to go rule the underworld.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so if you watch the Marvel Moon Knight, right, when the main character travel to hell, so the most famous scenes, I don't know whether you hear before, is that in Egyptian mythology, when you go to hell, they will actually weigh your heart against a feather. Then if your heart is lighter than the feather, then they say, oh, you are pure, you can be reincarnated. If your heart is heavier than the feather, means that you have done something wrong. Then they will like throw you into this endless like fire and water of like all the souls that cannot reincarnate together.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was actually reflected a bit in the Moon Knight lah. Yeah. So Horus, right, once he was born, right, since he was young, his mother tell him already that you will need to so-called wrestle back this power from your uncle lah. Okay. So for very obvious reasons, like number one, she feels that this is her husband's legitimacy. Yeah. And then I think number two, she's doing it more for the whole like empire's wisdom and empire's stability and the progress also lah. Because
you're saying it's already plunging, right? Correct.
Yeah,
under
Seth is known to be very violent and like not make very wise decisions lah. He's like very rash and everything. So the two of them when Horus was of age, right, when he felt that he's ready to take back the power, right, the two of them finally went to this council of elders gods and decided that, hey, like I want to stake my legitimacy to the throne and I want to take it back. The elders tell them, you want to take it back? Can. Okay, but you are too young. Okay, your uncle here is older, but he is so-called not by right, he's supposed to be next in line lah. Okay, although you're the son. Yeah. So they come to a consensus and say, okay, we will have a battle to decide who will win and then who will take over the throne. On paper, it say battle, one battle, but a lot of different versions will say they engage in a lot of the battle, and then like Horus will win and like Seth will say, hey, I don't accept this one is nonsense. Or like, yeah, or like he will say, no, this one I how do you say? Or like the ISIS will see that, hey, this one not fair to my son. Then she'll like interject. Then like this one is like how do you say not the
he changed the game rules to his advantage lah.
Yes, correct.
He played Uno, got different versions.
Correct.
Understand?
Correct. So one of the competition that Seth brought out is because they say we can either do a like swimming competition or we can do a like who stays in the water longer competition. His face, because the Egyptian gods when they draw, right, their heads are of different animals one. Okay, so he is very confident in his ability in water
to swim. Okay.
Yeah, so he say like we can compete lah. Say we either stay in the water, who stay in the water longest, or we see who swim the fastest. Horus say okay lah, we compete. But once the competition start, right, the mother like say, not fair leh, like my son very young only, then like he's not very good in water. Then she'll like do things like transform the hippo and bite Seth, this kind of thing. Or like she'll interject and like shoot some arrow at Seth. Then Seth will like angry, right? This one not fair, what? Yeah. So here comes the part. Yeah, so here comes the part. Seth one day dulang with all this competition. So he decided to do a very sneaky ploy. I don't know where he got the idea from, but he decided that he will call a meeting one day and tell all the elders that I managed to put my sperm in this guy, so I own him, so I win. So
okay. I put my sperm inside Horus.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So he did it by trying to ask Horus like mate like what's his favorite food and then he'll like put in his food like that, and then Horus supposed to eat and then the sperm will enter him. So Isis found out this ploy and then she reversed the ploy on him. She went and asked his gardener like, hey, what's his favorite vegetable? Do you want me to review this vegetable so that you will not eat this vegetable for the rest of your life, or you just keep it at this is vegetable?
I think it's fine because I don't eat that much vegetable. I think I'm safe.
This vegetable is cabbage.
Okay, I'm safe. No worries. If it's lettuce, I might be destroyed. But okay, cabbage is fine.
Yeah. So the mother Isis took his sperm, put in the cabbage, and then so-called he served to Seth to eat. So Seth unknowingly, happily just eat. So a few days later, when he caught the meeting, right, and then he say, hey, you guys, my sperm is inside him, I own him. Then he so-called call out the sperm to prove that the sperm is inside him, right? But the sperm rose from like the rivers instead of like from his body.
Okay.
Instead, the mother say, oh no, my son's sperm is inside this guy. Then she caught the sperm, right? The sperm rose from his head, like come out.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Seth lost the battle. So this was the deciding factor that allowed so-called Horus to gain power and then become like so-called the first emperor of like the whole Egypt.
Yeah. So in the end, right, the Mama Isis is the one that really helped save the day, and then
played a very important role.
Yeah, just curious, right? So it's like Ra himself, as we're going to link over to the next story. Because Ra is considered like the overseer god, right? He's like the head lah. Yeah. So it's like he just sort of he doesn't take charge of the earth or this that much lah. It's like he just really lets the the Seth, Osiris, they run the show lah, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. He's just like the big boss lah, the shareholder, the big majority shareholder. Yeah, and then the rest is like your CEO or that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Interesting. I did not think that this mythology would have so much I would say foreplay, but I understand why you switch it now because it links very nicely to the first story. Yeah. Okay.
So I will now talk about the third story, which is about like the creation of hell.
Okay.
Because when Osiris was sent to govern hell, at the beginning there wasn't this concept of hell one.
Okay.
How did hell come about? Is that the god of the sun Ra decided to create humans like for your own entertainment and whatnot. So he created humans. But for whatever reason, some sources say it's because humans got very noisy. Some sources say it's because they start taking things for granted. They didn't pay their respect to him in terms of temples, in terms of like going to pay their respects, or like a lot of the temples erected now don't just pay respect to him. They start paying respect
it's like multiple,
or like maybe Osiris, this kind of thing. Yeah, so he felt that he was being taken for granted lah.
Okay.
So he sent his right or left eye, I forget. I think it's right eye, Sekhmet. Okay. So Sekhmet, right, this god is known as like the goddess of war, goddess of destruction. So she sent her down, right? She very happy because she like pillage and kill humans like for fun. And like some sources says that she drink blood, right? She drink human blood, right? She get more excited one, then she continue killing. How to say, she gets a bit too addicted to the feeling, right? Such that when Ra decided that actually time is up, I feel that humans suffer enough. But he didn't know how to make this Sekhmet stop because like she's so bloodthirsty and like so red and everything already. Yeah. So the amazing thing was he sent his other eye, Bastet, which is the warmer, more calm version of the eye, and then sent her down. She used her wits lah. She decided that I think I can create this thing called red wine because it looks like blood, and then I can offer it to my sister. So the sister see like, this one look like blood. Then she very happy. She drink. Then she got drunk. Then, then she stopped all this killing lah. They managed to so-called bring her back to Ra, and then so-called Ra can make her part of his eye consort again, this kind of thing. But because of all these humans that were killed, right, their souls had to go to this place called Ma'at, M-A-A-T, which is if you watch the Moon Knight, remember the two of them, they open this door and then they go into this place and see some hippo there. So that is Ma'at because that's the afterlife. So a lot of these wandering souls, they
end up in Ma'at.
Yeah, they end in Ma'at. But there's a journey to go through before you can go to Horus, and like I said just now, they can balance the scale with the feather. So Ra, feeling sorry for what he has done, he feel that there is a need for him to every day, right, guide all these souls for them to go to Osiris there so that they can be judged. That is why we don't have 24-hour sun. We only have 12-hour sun and 12-hour moon. Because for the first 12 hours, Ra is actually riding across the sky,
collecting the souls.
Yes. And then he will actually go down into underworld. He will need to not only guide these souls to Osiris, he will have to battle this snake, this serpent, that he will have to kill. And then the next day, the serpent will come out again as a serpent. Of course, he's not alone. He has this boat that he sits on, right? That he carries all his consort, like his Bastet, his Sekhmet, and Seth, all these people that will help him in his journey to slay I don't know, this one called snake or dragon or what. And then lead all these souls to Ma'at so that they can be judged and reincarnated.
Okay, interesting. I'm assuming that Sekhmet loves this. Every day I get to go and kill the snake and stuff like that.
But the funny thing is, in every arc, right, like Seth, like Sekhmet, after they did all this wrong, and their so-called council, they all join his consort and then follow him in the boat and every night go kill the snake one. Tiring god I've ever heard. Like every day have to travel. Can you imagine every day I have to go kill this thing and then go up the sun again?
Okay, so Khonshu take care of the night while Ra goes down.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Where he's just a peacekeeper person. He just like make sure that everything is going smoothly and stuff like that.
I got it wrong. Ma'at is a god name. God is a god of the underworld. He ruled the underworld before Osiris come take over. The underworld is actually called Duat, D-U-A-T.
Okay, so as I'm reading it also, like this Apep apparently, when a solar eclipse happened, Apep was said to have eaten the sun. Yes. And the priest performed rituals to help the Ra overcome his enemy. So I guess like they have a long-standing feud in a way.
Yeah.
It's like the creature of the river now, and then after that they was cast to the underworld, where it's like hanging about. Yeah, interesting. For you, like before we end off this episode, right? Is there anything else that we should know about the Egyptian mythology before we end up?
How do you say? Like I say, there are a lot of versions. So do not be alarmed if you read a different version and you're like, which is correct? Actually, I think scholars also argue which is a correct version. Yeah.
Okay. So in a way, this is the most open to interpretation mythology.
Because a lot of these things, right, they are not written in like text. A lot of them are inscriptions on like tombs. Actually, most of them are inscriptions in tombs. Then people open the tomb, then you see all these inscriptions. Then sometimes when emperors want to like be, how do you say, like, because they believe in afterlife, so they believe that I have to be buried a certain way so that my next reincarnation will be of a certain stature also. So there's the possibility that they will twist certain mythologies to fix their narrative. Or like they will have to write certain ways so that, hey, I'm quite a good king, like that. Yeah.
I'm a good pharaoh.
Exactly,
I'm a very good.
Exactly. Yeah. Because another thing that I never touched on is called the Book of Death. So every tomb, every Egyptian king tomb, right, they have a personalized Book of Death, which is supposed to show them the way, the so-called the smooth way all the way to the in front of Osiris, where they do all the weighing of the feather against your heart.
Is to ensure that they have a smooth passage into the next time. I think Egyptian mythology, we learn a bit about the gods of the sun. Also, you learn that they're actually quite incestuous and they have very weird, they have weird kinks. They're kinky people.
Correct.
Yeah. I think just to end it off, there is only one Egyptian king left, and that is Muhammad Salah. Mo Salah. Yeah. All right, that was our Egyptian mythology episode.
Get out of here.
Oh, look at the time. The coffee shop is closing, but in the meantime, if you enjoyed the episode, please remember to give it like a thumbs up and subscribe. We have episodes that drops every Monday. But at the same time, also, if you're into football, we have the football kake that drops every Wednesday. And also, if you're into fun game show formats, we have the big podcast on our Chit Chatter network. We have the SG Draft podcast that drops every Friday. Also, if you're into fun tournaments, we have the weekly tournament poll that goes up on our Instagram page every Monday to Thursday. It's a knockout tournament. It's a round of the 8 on Monday. Then after that, Tuesday is the semi-finals. And then after that, the finals on Wednesday. And then the results are on Thursday. So if you're into that, we are going to do something that is related to Egypt because we're doing an Egyptian mythology episode. So remember to head over to our Instagram and go and vote for our recurring tournament. All right. We hope that everyone is doing nice Egyptian dance as you listen to this podcast. But remember,
a kopi a day keeps your troubles away. Gaga, ooh la la. Watch your
I'm a man.